Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Ladies Power Lunch Free Gift Friday. I am really excited to be here in spite of a few technical difficulties that we're experiencing on the back end today, but my excitement is still not dampened because I get an opportunity to share with you, one of the people that I have such great respect for, and somebody that I also believe that once you have an opportunity to get to know her, that you will also feel the same way that I feel. You'll really understand why I feel the way I feel about her. So I want to share with you today. Her name is Soribel Martinez. She's a best-selling author. She was part of one of our most recent anthologies called Ignite Your Leadership. And she is sharing her story with us in an even more deep way than she shared in the anthology, because in another couple of weeks, she will be launching her book called Unbreakable. She's also going to be, oh, look, if you look on your screen right now, you will actually have the opportunity to see, you will see the advanced copy of Unbreakable. You see, beautiful, beautiful cover. I want to say thank you to Elizabeth Hill, who is one of our who was our publisher and one of our editors. I want to say thank you to Bob Pritchard, who designed the beautiful, beautiful cover and graphics that you're seeing. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's just been a part of the process of getting this wonderful book to your hands so that you can also live with this idea of being unbreakable. One of my favorite mentors, Dr. Deepak Chopra, he likes to talk about how life is going to happen around you. It's going to happen whether, you're paying attention to it or not. All sorts of things are going to happen, but you get the opportunity to choose if you want to be part of the hurricane or if you want to be calm in the center as the eye of the hurricane. If you want to be able to hold on to your inner peace, even when things around you might not be going in the exact direction that you might like. And for that reason, I love, love, love the things that Soribel talks about, because she really, really shares from her heart about what it takes to hold on to your calm center, even when the winds of change are happening around us. So welcome, Soribel. First and foremost, can you share with everybody just a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do?
Hello, my name is Soribel Martinez. I am a licensed clinical psychotherapist in the state of Connecticut, CEO of SM Psychotherapy and Counseling Services, and I am a business coach and consultant to other mental health and healthcare providers who are looking to either start a private practice or solo, grow that practice, or if they want to scale to generate more impact and over $1 million in revenue every single year consistently without feeling burnt out. That's what I do. That's who I am. I'm also the founder of JC Foundation, JC Precious Foundation. It is in honor of my amazing baby that I lost at the 36 weeks of gestation, which we're going to be talking about a little bit about that, how I was able to deal with some of the losses in my life. And this foundation, what it does, it helps single moms in the Dominican Republic with children with special needs like Down syndrome, autism, psychological, spina bifida, any type of neurological, psychological problem that they may have. We provide them with financial resources, food, housing, education, therapies, you name it. We got it for them so they can thrive and be able to live the best life that they can live and fulfill their own purpose in life.
I love that so much. And I'm a big fan of making sure that whatever we're doing in our businesses, that we're also focusing on give back. And I remember one of our members some time ago, she said, you know what? Money loves women. And the reason that money loves women is because when women have money, women make sure that the community is supported. Women make sure that those who need it the most are actually taken care of. So I love
100%.
what you're doing. And I'm really, really happy that you're able to share that with us today.
Of course.
I was wondering, Soribel, a lot of people might be listening and they might be thinking, oh, that's a beautiful book cover. And it's a really eye-catching name, Unbreakable. But I don't know, is this conversation for me? Is this the kind of thing that I would be interested in? So I'm wondering, can you share with us, who might this book be most for? Who would get the most benefit from reading Unbreakable?
The truth is that I wrote this book for women like me.
Mhm.
Women like me now who are trying to learn all the skills that we need to get to the next level. And the woman that I was probably 10 years ago, and in the journey of becoming the woman that I wanted to become, that I am today. So if you're a woman who has a big purpose, a lot of passion in your heart and your soul, you want to do great things in the world, you want to create great impact, you want to be the leader of your leadership, right? The leader of your family, the leader of your journey, the leader of your kingdom, the create a legacy and change the path for the next generations. This book is for you. And the reason why this book is for you is because it would tell my story through your eyes, right? My stories are no different than yours. And you will see yourself reflected in some of the stories. Some of the earlier readers say that once they picked up the book to read it, they couldn't stop. There was a woman that was upset that she started reading the book and then she had to go do something. And she was like, and I'm mad now because I can't stop thinking about it. Unbreakable, right? So the purpose of this book is to really teach some tools and strategies and how to overcome the most difficult times in your life. Like you said, life is always going to happen. Whether if you're paying attention or not, life is going to happen because we do not grow and expand when we are in the comfort zone. We don't grow and expand when everything is sweet, dandy, and beautiful, my dears, my loves. We grow and we expand when we are in the middle of the hurricane. Why? Because when we are in the middle of the hurricane and the adversity of the problem, we need to become somebody else. We have to transform into another person. Not that you have double personality, but that you have to become someone that you're not right now in order to solve problems that are bigger than you. So you can impact the life of others in a bigger way. Well, maybe the woman that you are today needs these tools and a strategy. So when you are in the middle of the storm, you can dance with the storm. When the eye of the hurricane comes into your ship, into your space, that you are able to be sure that the universe, that God is sitting in the corner and he has your back 100% because he gave you the purpose, he gave you the vision and the mission. Now he needs to get to support you, and he gets to support you when you need him the most.
So I really see how, like you're saying, anybody could relate to this because just about anybody out there has had some kind of adversity in life. Some things happen, and your message is a message of resilience. We like that. Can you share with us a little bit of your story? I don't want you to tell us the whole story because I really want people to go out and get the book and read about it and get into it themselves and have it so that they can have it for their own purpose and reading going forward. But I know that you've been through a lot. I know you've had loss that relates to new life. I know that you've had your own set of grief. I know you've had your own issues with health. Can you share a little bit of some of those stories with us, please?
Yes. So doesn't it feel good that I get to pick up my book and open it up, right? And look at the part that the page about some of those situations. Motherhood was and has been a really difficult journey for me for one reason or another. I think that in God's purpose for me, I think I was meant to be the mother of just one child that is alive. I really believe that now. I couldn't understand that when I was younger because I really desired to be a mom. I really wanted to be a mom. I knew I could be an excellent mom. And I wanted to pour into few kids all that there is in me so they can also become who they were meant to become. But it didn't work that way. The first experience is that it really takes me back is that I have one child and I have had 8 losses. 8 losses. I had 6 losses before John Anthony, and I have 2 losses after John Anthony, right? After before John Anthony, getting pregnant and holding pregnancy was really difficult. I had lost multiple pregnancies that were twins. There was one pregnancy that I lost in 2005 that were twins. And then after John Anthony, I got pregnant and there were twins too. Giancarlo's was a twin baby. And I lost the first baby at 8 weeks of gestation. But there was some hope in me, right? That Giancarlo was there and I really thought that he was going to make it. I was under the best care. I had the best doctors. I was being monitored very closely. And I really thought that Giancarlo was going to make it. And he didn't. I remember going to a routine appointment. I had gone to the doctor two days prior to the 27th. That was December. I went to the doctor December 24th. And I went back to the doctor on December 27th. December 27th, when I go with John, just to do a routine check. It was supposed to be like an in and out kind of situation, right? I was being monitored every 2-3 days because of Christmas. It took 3 days instead of 2, right? So we're sitting there. And as soon as the technician put the machine and he put the thing on my belly, I saw that there was no heartbeat. I have gone to too many of these not to know that there was no heartbeat. And I became alarmed. And I said to him, what's going on? What's going on? The baby doesn't have a heartbeat. He said, wait, I need to go get the doctor. When the doctor came and the doctor looked, the doctor was so impressed because I was already 36 weeks, right? This baby was perfect just 2 days ago, and the baby was gone. And the doctor tears started coming down his chin. And he said, I am so sorry, but the baby's no longer here with us. He's no longer alive. And it looks like he was dead for a couple of days already. And what that story and that experience had taught me really is to anchor my faith and my trust in God, is to understand that when we are in the middle of the hardest and difficult time of life, sometimes we have to ask better questions. And one of the things that I learned from my previous experience was that I never want to ask God, why is this happening to me? Because who am I not to happen to me? I'm not that special. Women lose this baby all the time. It's more common than what we think and what we know, right?
It is much more common than we think. I remember when I can tell you stories of loss too. It's something that's so common. And I was sitting in the OBGYN's office, very busy OBGYN office, and there were quite a few women sitting there, and I was filling in my paperwork. I just happened to be talking to the woman beside me, who she had also had a loss. And all the women in the waiting room were overhearing our conversation. She talking about her loss, me talking about my loss, and every single woman in that OBGYN's office had also had an experience of loss. So it's something that I think we need to talk about more, because so many people have been through it and they are siloed in their experience. They're all alone in their experience, thinking that it's just them and they don't feel like they have any kind of community around it. So I feel like you talking about this now, it's perfect time, because I'm really, really sure I want to ask our friends over listening and watching along with us over in Ladies Power Lunch group, if you can relate to having some kind of loss or grief experience, please drop in the chat and share with us. So you were saying, Soribel.
So I learned not to ask why, because the why is not so important, because who am I not to happen to me, right? But I learned to ask, what is the purpose of this situation? Show me the path. I'm willing to do my part. What is the purpose? And honestly, I couldn't understand that purpose immediately. That purpose came very clear to me times after. But I remember me sitting in my bed crying and saying to God, I do not want to open my mouth to ask you why this happening to me, because I believe that I don't deserve this. I'm a great mom, I'm committed, I'm passionate. I I am so responsible with the gift that God had already given me, who was John Anthony. John Anthony was 5 years old. And at that moment, I had to open my mouth to just be grateful. So I invite you to, when you are in the middle of the storm and the eye of the hurricane is hitting you hard, try to stay in quiet and solitude for a moment. And in your mind, get prepared. So when you open your mouth, you can open your mouth to ask questions that are important, like, what is the purpose in this? What is the lesson that I need to learn? What is it that I want to do with this experience? Who am I going to change with this experience? And then opening our mouth to be in gratitude, in appreciation for the moment. And the baby was already dead for a few days. I gave birth to him. I saw him. His skin was already peeling a little bit, so he was dead for a couple of days. And truly, the most difficult part of that was when I was leaving the hospital and I was empty-handed. I went into that place with a big old belly and my son by my side, and I lived there, and I lived without John Anthony because we had to send him home. We didn't want him to experience that whole thing. He didn't want to see the baby, and I respected that for him. I held space for him. But then I left with no baby, empty-handed, and coming into a home that was like a Konani. A Konani is like a daycare because I had everything that you can think of. I am very detailed person in the things that I want and I desire in my space. And Giancarlo's had everything, absolutely every single thing. I used to go to the stores every single week to buy things. Almost every day I used to stop at a store to just look at things. And to the point that when I had to return some things, they knew who I was. They already knew who I was. And that kind of like helped me get some refunds and things like that, which is, it doesn't really matter. So part one or step one is always analyzing where you are, how you got there. I always say this. Then really analyzing like how you want to express those feelings outward to the world. What did you want to say? What is the right question that you want to ask? Be in gratitude and appreciation, because there is lessons to be learned in that experience. And then that happens. I go home. I'm thinking that I'm going to get to see my baby again. That was the promise that was given to me before I left the hospital. You will be able to see him before you bury him. Well, it was no storm after no storm after no storm, snow. And the barrier kept getting pushed back. And at that point, on December 6th, January 6th, the lady from the from the funeral say, I don't think you should, I don't think this is the image that you should take from your baby. I think that you should just remember what when you saw him, when you carry him in the hospital. And I think that's the one thing that bothers me sometimes. Like, I didn't get to see him one more time. I wanted it to say goodbye. And we bury him. And the next step was having to get the support that I needed beyond that point, right? I have my family, my friends came from out of state. I have people around me all the time, but I knew that I needed to process the grief. And what I know about grief is that grief is like the ocean. Sometimes it's calm. There's small waves, medium waves, high waves, and very atrocious waves. And you have to learn how to honor that grief, honor your grief, feel the feelings. Suppressing the feelings, what it does is it allows us to sit on a dirty chair, what I call the dirty chair. We sit on the dirty chair, and the more we are sitting in the dirty chair, the more grief, the more feelings we're gonna get. We suppress those emotions, we're gonna feel depressed, anxious, worried, concerned, etc., etc. So I learned how to just honor my grief. My son and I went to grief counseling that summer. And then when John Anthony said, I no longer need grief counseling, I'm good, I understand. Giancarlo is no longer here. I accept it, and we moved on. And now we get to remember about Giancarlo's, and we laugh about it. We make jokes about him moving in the belly and dancing salsa in there, how active he was. Sometimes we talk about, can you imagine a life with Giancarlo's in it? And John Anthony is like, no, no, thank you. Like, he would have been like a pain in my butt, but I would have protected him. And we have those conversations. But early on in the process, I had to teach my son how to grieve. And we did that by honoring our grief and getting the support that we needed.
Beautiful. I really appreciate you being so vulnerable and sharing this with us. And I really believe that there are quite a few people who will benefit as a result. But I have a question for you, because sometimes we can do this thing where we either bypass the things that are going on for us, bypass our hurricanes, or we might get stuck in our hurricanes. And as a therapist, Soribel, what happens to us when we don't honor the situations that we're in? What happens?
We get into what is called a complicated grief, where depression and anxiety can take over. Where we are, instead of moving through the 5 stages of grief, we get stuck in one stage of grief, which can look like anger, depression, not accepting it, in denial. And those get really complicated, and depression and anxiety can take over, and then it becomes a mental health issue. We all grieve one way or another. We lose a home, we lose a job, a child, a parent, a family member. We lose our hair to cancer. Like me, I lost my hair to brain surgery, right? Those are losses. But when we can't move through it and we get stuck, what happens is the grief becomes complicated. And then that's when we need to go for psychotherapy, sometimes medication management, right? Because we need to deal with that complication, that complexity that sometimes evolves into symptoms of mental illness, and we need to address them.
So as we all deal with the things that show up in our lives, and like we said at the top, life happens. Any day that you get up, it is possible that something can show up that's going to be not exactly what you had planned or what you wanted.
Yep.
Can you share with us just your key do's and don'ts for dealing with life as it happens?
I think one of the things that we need to do is we need to understand that we're human.
Yeah.
And the sun, when it comes out, it comes for everybody. But when it's gonna storm, it storms for everybody too. Rich, poor, bad, good, indifferent, whatever that is. It doesn't really matter. It's gonna be an experience for everybody. Let's stop thinking that we are so good that things can happen to us. No. It happens to everybody, happens to babies, it happens to children. I just had a client on telling me that her daughter, at the age of like 1 year old, she was diagnosed with kidney cancer, right?
Mhm.
And she's a baby, and you may think, but she's a baby. Yes, she is, but she's human, and the body sometimes have difficulties, right? I had brain surgery. I had 2 brain aneurysm. It can happen to people.
Mhm.
So thinking that we are so good that things cannot happen to us is the wrong approach to life. I also think that we need to learn that we don't need to do things in isolation. I am a queen, and I believe that I am a queen, and I believe that you are a queen, and that you as a queen deserve to have all the support that you need. Quite often I guess the question like, girl, do you even sleep? Yes, I do every night. By 9:30, I'm in bed, sleeping, right? Once John Anthony goes to sleep, I read, I listen to something, I'm going to sleep, right? So it's not, I don't work 24/7. I honor my body. What I'm trying to say with it is develop an unbreakable healthcare practice that can really support you. That includes people around you, the women around you, the friends, right? A therapist, a coach, a book, a inspirational quote, an inspirational video, a training, a seminar, a class, read my book, right? Get my journal. Like, why? Because these are the things that help us move through the storm with ease. The storm is going to happen. Like, you are not going to be able to avoid it. Avoiding it is going to get you stuck. So feel the feelings and bounce back from the dirty chair as soon as you can. The faster you bounce back from the dirty chair, the faster you can get through the storm. Why? Because you're utilizing healthy coping skills so you can cope, manage, and self-regulate. And when you can do that, then you can have the victory. But if we refuse to get the help, we refuse to be around people, we refuse to get support, we refuse therapy, we refuse all these things, then we become isolated, and then we're dealing with things by ourselves. And this life was not meant to be lived in isolation. It was meant to be lived with others.
I believe that so deeply, but you know that about me because what do? I
Yes,
host a women's group and I talk about collaboration all the
all the
time.
time, right?
All the time. I think we're gonna go and change my name to Devia Collaboration Shepherd. I think
Maybe.
that's gonna be
Yes.
my new name. I have a question here for you from Jen, who's over in our Ladies Power Lunch group watching along. She says, "Wow, I needed to hear this today." So see,
Oh,
you're not we're
good.
not alone in the things that we go through. There are other people out there who are experiencing things too. She said, "I
Yes.
needed to hear this today." And she also says that she struggles with sleep, so she liked your sleep tips, but she wants to know, how you were saying that you check yourself to make sure that you're giving yourself enough time to grieve. Are there any specific tips that you have for checking in with ourselves?
Self-evaluation and analysis. And in the
Mhm.
book, I do a really good job. I say we because we are a team. There's so
We
many
are a
people.
team.
We are a team working on this, right? So in the book, every end of the book gets a area. And in this particular one, I give you ways that you can hold on a second. I get to see my book. Like, do you understand how wonderful this is? Like, I'm showing off right now.
That's good. That's good. And we applaud
So
you because this is a great achievement.
great, thank you. So self-evaluation prompts. Every end of the book has a chapter takeaway, and it has self-evaluation prompts.
Mhm.
The skill that we need to gather in life is self-evaluating constantly. And one of the questions in the self-evaluation prompt is, what are you grieving? This may be the loss of a person, a pet, a career, or relationship. You see, I don't just tell you my story and the tools and the strategies I use, but I also give you tools for you to go ahead, right? Whether if you have a notebook or if you buy my journal that I recommend, it's looking marvelous. I'm like, hello, is that my journal? Yes, it is. It is. And in there, we're going to give you plenty of space for you to write out all of your thoughts and all of your feelings. And one tool is self-evaluation and analysis. Be in a place of self-evaluation. You know why? Because self-evaluation allows you to go deep into becoming aware. And awareness is everything. If you don't know where you are right now, you can never, ever set the GPS. You can never activate the GPS to know where you want to go and what are the steps that you need. So self-evaluation, being aware, is really important, and identifying some of those tools that you need. Self-care practice, a therapist, a journal, a good book, good friends,
Good friends.
sleeping well, the spa, emotional support, a spiritual support, a physical support. Like you need to do you need to have a whole village behind you supporting you. Have you noticed that the queen architect, the queen is always being supported? After she was dead, the Queen of England, after she was dead, did you see how they supported her? So we need to learn that everyone, you are a queen and a king. We were created by the most highest creator. And there's nothing that you need that is not available to you. But you have to become aware of these things so you can choose wisely. So with this book, I can tell you that I grieved a lot. There was one day that I was in bed all day after I wrote the chapter about Giancarlo's. I slept, I was sad and I was angry. And I canceled all of my clients and I gave myself a day to grieve. Yeah. Now, did I sat on that dirty chair for weeks and weeks and days and days? No. I gave myself the opportunity to grieve. I honor my son with honoring my grief. And then I decided to bounce back. And then I said, so who do I need to help now? Because I learned that when I help others, when I heal others, I heal myself. Yeah. And it's a wonderful gift.
I love that. When we heal others, we heal ourselves. So
100%.
we all have special gifts and talents that are here to be in service of others. And when we are out there sharing those gifts with the world, we're also healing ourselves. That's a perfect note to end this. Mina says, sing it, sister. Who do I need to help now? That's gonna be our big takeaway from today. So I want to invite everybody to go ahead and mark your calendars for March 20th and 21st, because that's when we're going to be having the Ladies Power Lunch Spring Summit. But not only are we going to be having the Spring Summit, but one of our keynote presenters is going to be Soribel Martinez. She's going to be there. One of the things I love about our summits is that they're all experiential. They're all an opportunity for us to learn something. But one of the beautiful things is that I go to a lot of summits and it's almost like you go and you're listening to somebody and they're the guru and hopefully you get something out of it and they're pieced out. When we have our summits, our speakers are available to you. And so you'll be able to sit and talk to Soribel. You'll be able to hold her hand. You'll be able to get everybody who buys a ticket for Summit will be getting a copy of Unbreakable by Soribel Martinez. And you'll have an opportunity to get it signed by the author herself when you come to Summit. So
Yeah, I
that's
already got my
something.
special pens for you. So
She has
come
special
on.
pens to sign her books for us. I'm
Of
so
course, we
excited.
can't just use any
You
pen. We got to
can't
use
just
a
use
special
any
kind of pen.
pen. It's gonna be
Yeah.
very special. So I think all y'all need to make sure that you've gotten your tickets. Yes, Summit. Yes, Wendy Lee, I absolutely agree. Summit is a fabulous experience, not only for, of course, hanging out with our keynote speakers and our workshop facilitators, but also for us to have an opportunity to get together. We will be both in person in Farmington, Connecticut. So, and we've booked a room block at Farmington Inn. So if you want to come on down and hang out with us in person, you're absolutely welcome to do that. And if hanging out with us virtually is what you feel like you want to do, that will also be very well facilitated as well through our Encaptive platform, as a result of our work with Shannon Daniels, and also Lori Raggio is going to be our virtual host, making sure that everybody who's joining us online will be absolutely taken care of. So it's going to be a wonderful summit. You're going to get, once you buy your ticket, you will get a copy of Soribel's book, Unbreakable. But wait, there's more, because we're in Soribel's book is already available in pre-sale, so you can actually log on to Amazon and look for Unbreakable, and you will get not just the Kindle copy of Soribel's book, but you'll also get her workbook as well,
The
her
journal.
journal as
I'm
well.
gonna share the link
Okay.
right now, so you guys can go straight to the link and get it. And guess what? I have a gift for you this week.
It's Free Gift
You-
Friday, everyone. There's a gift for you.
Yeah, you get a sneak peek inside my book. And it's beautiful. Like Barb was like, let's make this look really beautiful. And she did. So you can get the sneak peek for free. I'm going to share right now, right here. Let me see. And you get that here. Yeah, it's a sneak peek into the book, and you can order the ebook and the e-journal. Pre-order it. We already moving up into the numbers, so go do
Beautiful.
it.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I want to say thank you, Soribel, for so vulnerably sharing your story with us. Because I know, having, had my own experience with loss, I know that every single time you talk about it, it's almost like going through it all over again. So I know it's not easy to share this, but I also get the value of you sharing with us, because you're reminding us that we're not alone in our
No,
experiences.
no.
We see you
And
every
you know what?
day queening. We see you. We see
Queening
you
every day.
queening. And a lot of people
Doing
don't,
queenish things.
doing queenish things. And a lot of people
And
don't
wait till you see all
understand.
the queenish things I have for you in store for you. Like,
But
look at the shirt.
oh,
Oh,
how beautiful.
who
Didn't I
wants it?
text you about Unbreakable shirts this morning? Oh, for heaven's sake. We have to talk, lady.
What was
Lovely.
that?
I
What did you
love the
say?
shirt. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm doing a lot of queenish things around here. So wait until you see, wait until it's going to be a whole experience at the summit. It's going to be a whole experience everywhere. You better come and join this movement. Unbreakable is not about a book. It was never meant to be just a book. It was meant to be a movement. So now I'm going to be speaking about unbreakable leadership, unbreakable businesses, unbreakable life, unbreakable everything. So let's do
Unbreakable cups, pots.
it. Shirts.
You name it.
Oh, wait a minute. Do I have the cup right here? Let me see.
We need unbreakable mug. We need all
Oh,
sorts of unbreakable
you know I
merchandise.
don't play.
Oh, for heaven's sake. I love it. I love it. I love it.
You
Beautiful.
know I don't play.
Very nice. Guys, we have a lot to look forward to. Thank you so much, Soribel, for being
Of
our
course.
special guest today. And I'm going to invite everybody to just check out the show note at the end, and you'll be able to see how you can connect with Summit, growsmarternotharder.com/ticket, and how you can connect with a beautiful free gift from Soribel. Thank you, Soribel. Have a wonderful rest of the day, everybody. And I'll see you guys on the next show. Bye, everyone.